and less than half a tea time after Xianxia left, Yu also led the group of strong men to this place. After hearing the beautiful woman's delicate scream, everyone worked together to break the formation and rescued the beautiful woman. After listening to the beautiful woman's report, Yu's face was extremely ugly. She didn't expect her own people to be so unlucky that she would actually touch the formation here and let the kid run away. Third young master, the subordinates are not doing things well. Third young master, please punish. The beautiful woman's expression is also very bad, with a shameful expression on her face. Forget it. Yu waved her hand. It's not a big deal. I just suspect that the person is my old acquaintance, but I'm not sure. Since I didn't catch up, the matter will end here. As expected of the third young master of Constant Gathering Chamber of Commerce, since it's done, there is no use to say more. After learning that Xianxia had run away, she didn't mean to be entangled anymore. Third young master is wise. Now the most important thing is to find that cultivation method. This is closely connected with the future of the president. As long as you can find that cultivation method, the president will definitely be able to make further progress and become a top expert. Third Order Void King Realm, said an old man with a clean face. Although this person is old, he is full of vigor, ruddy complexion, and extremely powerful. Well, what old Chu said is true. It's just that we have received too little information, and whether there has that exercise here or not is not known. Anyway, the biggest goal of our trip is this, so let's get around first. Yu did not refute but agreed with the old man surnamed Chu. Obviously, this old man's status in the group is not low. Constant Gathering Chamber of Commerce. Although the Emperor Garden is very famous in the rich world, but in fact, there are not many things that can fascinate them, but the Constant Gathering Chamber of Commerce still dispatched a team of elites this time, and the cultivators dispatched her all top masters of the Third Order Void Return stage. And they are also led by an important figure like Yu. It can be seen that the vision is very large. And the so-called cultivation technique, in their words, they don't know what it is. It can actually promote a cultivator at the peak Second Order Void King to Third Order Void King. On the other side, after Xianxia got rid of the chasing people behind him, then he went deep into the Emperor Garden all the way. Along the road, there are traces of battle leftovers and signs of the destruction of the formation restriction. There are also many cultivators' corpses lying all around. It can be seen that there are indeed crises and thorns at each steps. At least it was much more dangerous than the last time he came in, because Xianxia is still passing by. Many wreckages of ancient puppets were found. Those ancient puppets were large and small, and they looked very different, but without exception, they were destroyed by cultivators who broke into this place. When he came in last time, although he encountered puppets, the number was definitely not so exaggerated. It looks like, after the official opening of the Emperor Garden, the danger inside this area has also increased greatly. No wonder Min Sha and the others fled outside and did not dare to stay in the Emperor Garden for a long time. The competition here was too fierce and there were too many dangers. But coming in late has its own advantage. Xianxia delayed a lot of days outside after entering the Emperor Garden at this moment. There is no need to worry about what restriction formations will be touched. Just walk through those positions with traces of battle. Generally it is extremely safe. There are countless people ahead to clear the way for him. Of course, there are gains and losses, and the benefits must have been taken away by those people. Walking along the way, the attics and the wing rooms all had doors wide open, and there was a mess inside. They must have been carefully searched, and don't know if any good things have been raided. But Xianxia didn't care. He went to the Emperor Garden this time just to get two things. He found it the last time he came in. The Life Growth Wine Cream, which is one of the 3 great divine waters in Star Territory. But for Xianxia, what he valued most was the Life Growth Wine Cream that could help him condense his own golden blood. The last time he obtained some diluted version of Life Growth Wine Cream, after he swallowed all of it, he had already harvested a huge amount. If he could get more and more pure life growth wine cream, it would naturally help himself. He is eager to replace all his blood with that pure golden blood. If he really did this step, then both his blood chi and physical strength would be greatly increased. Even if he would not say that his physical body become immortal, it would definitely be extremely difficult to suffer severe damage. And the second thing is naturally the world's spirit hidden in the ice road. That thing was transformed by pure cold air, and it has given birth to spiritual wisdom, which is most loved by the ancient Holy Spirit. It is said that in the ancient times, there were a lot of world spirit, but they were preyed by the ancient Holy Spirit, so they are gradually extinct now. The world spirit in the ice road is of ice-cold attribute, just in line with the ice phoenix's appetite. If he can help the ice phoenix remnant soul to swallow it, the ice phoenix remnant soul will also be greatly nourished. It is related to Xu Yan's future, so Yang Kai will naturally take it seriously. As long as these two things can be obtained, even if the trip to the Emperor Garden is not a big harvest, Yang Kai doesn't care too much about the others. Thinking like this in his mind, Yang Kai kept observing the surrounding terrain, but after a full day, he was still confused. The scenery inside the Emperor Garden is too similar. He doesn't know where he is now, let alone looking for the world spirit and life growth wine cream. During this day, Yang Kai was in a calm manner, and he didn't even meet anyone. The cultivator who wanted to enter this place had either already fallen or went deeper into the place, making him even want to find someone to inquire about the news. But inside the Emperor Garden, unlike outside, the divine consciousness can spread and explore the surroundings. In this place, the divine consciousness is suppressed in the range of several tons of feet to the side, and it cannot extend too far. Yang Kai once again took out the communication compass that could be connected with Yang Yan and Qiantong, and poured his spiritual mind into it. To his disappointment, he still had no response. With a sigh, Yang Kai reluctantly put the communication compass into the space ring and continued to move forward. About half a day later, Yang Kai suddenly stopped his steps and leaned to listen. Vaguely, he seemed to hear some fighting sounds coming from not far away. After listening carefully for a while, he couldn't help but look happy, and hurriedly rushed over there. There were indeed people fighting over there, and as he approached, the sound and movement became more and more obvious. The battlefield is in a palace, and there seems to be a lot of people, at least about 7 or 8, and the strength is not too low. Judging from those movements, the battle between the two sides seems to have fallen into a stalemate. Even if there is one side which has the upper hand, the advantage is definitely not obvious. Yang Kai didn't show up in a hurry, but condensed his aura, quietly skimmed outside the palace, pierced the window and glanced inward. Looking around, the brilliance of the artifacts and martial arts in the palace bloomed. From time to time, there were figures of people ups and downs, or 2-to-1 catches and fights, or groups of 3 or 5 gathered together, not happy with the fight. There was another person, seeing that she was a woman, lying on her side, not knowing whether she was alive or dead. It's them. Yang Kai looked at him for a moment, his expression stunned. He didn't expect that by such a coincidence, the first group of people he met when he entered the Emperor Garden is someone he knew. Clean Sky Sect's Great Elder Mo Yu, Sect Master Jiu Zhen, and Shen Shitao. Although Mo Yu and Jiu Zhen are both in the Third Order Void Return stage, they are considered top powerhouses in the Emperor Garden, but after all, Shen Shitao has just been promoted to the First Order Void Return stage. And many elders of Clean Sky Sect have joined forces to display their secret technique to raise her cultivation level, and she couldn't bring out the strength of the Void Return stage at all. She didn't even condense her own chi potential. Looking back at their enemies, there were 4 people, 2 Third Order Void Return stage, and 2 Second Order Void Return stage, so the battle situation seemed to be clearly unfavorable for Clean Sky Sect side. Shen Shitao was surrounded by dangers. If it hadn't been for the powerful protection artifact given by Mo Yu, she would have been captured or perished. When Jiu Zhen and Mo Yu were fighting with the enemy, they had even thoughts to protect her. But after all, they are the Sect Master and the Great Elder, and the artifacts and the methods they used were all shocking, so although the scene seemed a bit precarious, it could last for a while. and before Yang Kai arrived, they must have been fighting each other for a long time. Since he knew him, Yang Kai would naturally not stand idly by, not to mention that he had a good impression of Mo Yu, and he had friendship with Xianxia. However, Yang Kai also looked puzzled. He didn't understand why the people of Clean Sky Sect had to fight with the 4 people in this palace. Is there any benefit here? Thinking like this, Yang Kai looked inside the palace, and when he looked at it, Yang Kai couldn't help but raise his brow, revealing an expression of ecstasy. Because in the very center of the palace, there was an altar-like thing, which looked like a strange stone, blood red, and the size of a heart. Blood essence stone. Yang Kai recognized what this thing was at a glance. This is actually a blood essence stone. It really is like stepping on the iron shoes till it broke but still can't find it. No, he suddenly found it without any effort. The blood essence stone is of great use to other cultivators. It can absorb the blood of the dead and transform it into pure blood qi, which can be used to heal injuries or supplement the power of blood qi at critical moments. But for Yang Kai, there is even more of a big use, that is to act as the heart of the stone puppet. On the Tongshuan continent, Yang Kai obtained a total of 2 stone puppets, but there was only 1 blood essence stone, so after coming to the Shadowed Star, he could only promote the birth of 1 stone puppet. But in his black book space, there is another stone puppet's embryo, which has not been able to break out of the shell. What is missing is just a blood essence stone. As long as a blood essence stone can be obtained, a second stone puppet can be born. Yang Kai knows the power and mystery of the stone puppet better than anyone. Yang Yan can use it for item refining. It also has a very strong fighting ability. The performance of the stone puppet was extremely eye-catching in the Battle of Dragon Cave Mountain. Yang Kai already had a stone puppet himself, and she would be very happy if he gave the second stone puppet to Yang Yan. This girl had envied Yang Kai for a long time. To be continued.